Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name is VinPF, and on today's episode, this is the first episode of 2021. We're going to be looking at the December bottle from the Summerton Club. Now, if you don't know who the Summerton Club are, I've covered quite a few of their bottles now, but they're a UK-based club, so sorry if you're a bit further afield. But they release a bottle to us every 2 months for £50 UK. That's every 2 months as well, of course. Now, we don't know what bottle's going to be coming our way, but every single time I receive one of these things, I sort of open it and have the same sort of reaction, and I think, interesting. Probably wouldn't have picked that up myself, and every single time I'm impressed. This time round, we've got something from the Glasgow Distillery Company, and that's a relatively new distillery in the centre of Glasgow. It's been around since about 2015, so it's not been around ages. You know, we're going to be talking about a very low-aged whiskey here. The 1770 kind of moniker that comes on here is a hark back to the original Glasgow distillery, which was founded in that year, which was disappeared and whatnot, has now been kind of reignited and is coming back to us, producing this sort of thing here. Now, the actual distillery themselves produces kind of a normal core range, as you might say. They've got an original one, which is matured in ex-bourbon barrels and then finished in virgin oak, which is pretty cool, I think. They've then got a triple distilled, which of course is triple distilled, but that's entirely matured in virgin oak. Again, pretty cool. And then they do a peated version, which is matured in virgin oak and then finished in PX casks. All three of which I've tried at festivals. I've never covered them on the channel until now, but they're all really rather good. Now, one thing you should know is that they kind of sell in half-litre bottles rather than 700 millilitres, but that shouldn't put you off, because the value, I think, is really there. Don't tend to worry too much about the age statements on things, as you guys know on the channel, and this is one of those things where you shouldn't worry about that. The other thing to note about these guys is they never add any colour, and it's all non-chill filtered, which is all kind of things that we like. Let's get onto this one and see what we've actually got. As I mentioned before, this is part of the Summerton Club thing, so we didn't know this was coming. This was their Christmas release, and generally speaking, at Christmas time, although I've only been part of them for this one and the previous Christmas, it's always been a kind of Christmassy vibe about these bottles. This one's no different. This is like the original. It's ex-bourbon matured and finished in virgin oak, but this is a single cask and it's 50.8%, which is pretty damn good. And I think you'll agree, I have to say, the bottle is pretty good looking as well. You know, I like this thing. They've made a really good effort to, although it's only a half-litre, they've made a really good effort to make it the same sort of size as a normal bottle. If I reach over here and grab a bottle, see, it's in the same sort of vein, so it matches the rest of your shelf, which I think is a nice little touch. Something I don't normally talk about, but the design of this bottle is kind of cool. Let's get into the actual whiskey itself and see what we've got in the glass, shall we? Now, obviously, we talked about natural colour, so that's a nice thing to go by there. It looks pretty tasty to me. Something they say on the front of this for profile is apple pie, shortbread, and pepper spice. Interesting combos. Let's get onto the nose and see what we've got. Okay, right, this has got a really nice nose on it. You can tell, I think you can probably tell that it's got some virgin oak influence, because the vanilla notes are there. Kind of high amounts of this kind of tannic notes, those kind of leathery elements. Almost a touch of marzipan to it as well, which is something that I often get on bourbons, which might be that same oak influence, kind of virgin oak influence coming through. Let's have a go on the palate. Whoa. Okay, that's got a real good kick at the end. I'm going to have another little sip so we can talk about the front of that. Okay, so for me, the vanilla notes aren't as big as they were on the nose. They kind of faded off. The first real flavour that I picked up was this kind of clove flavour, which obviously is synonymous with Christmas. That comes out while you've still got the kind of liquid rolling around on your tongue. There's definitely some of that apple pie influence there, but I think it's more led by the cinnamon elements that I'm picking out as the spiciness to it. I have to say I'm not too sure about the kind of shortbread vibes to that. That's not something that I'm getting, but you know, each to their own on that. Some people pick up the buttery notes and some people don't. I'm one of those people that doesn't tend to get the buttery notes in whiskey much. Sometimes you'll see people talking about kind of a popcorny vibe. That's what I imagine people are tasting in this. I'm not necessarily getting that, but I'm definitely getting those kind of cinnamony, appley pie notes, which is really tasty. I have to say, I was fully expecting this when I first got it to be a little bit more kind of Christmas cakey, but because there's no sherry influence in this, we're not getting those kind of vibes from it. We're not getting those dried fruits, that sort of thing that you kind of normally get from a kind of a Christmas whiskey. This is a really nice alternative, and it's kind of very, yeah, I've just got a little vibe there. As I was kind of talking, a little waft of kind of mulled wine kind of came across, which is really nice kind of thing. It's very different to anything else that I've got in my collection right now, that's for sure. And as you can see, I've had a good old effort at this since we received it in late December. It's been one of those whiskies that's been very easy to drink, and I think what I'll be doing with this one now is kind of hiding it away from myself at the back of the cabinet, at the back of the sideboard, to make sure that I don't kill this too quickly. Because just like all of the Summerton bottles, I tend to reach for them first above most other things, because although they're things I wouldn't normally pick up, they're always very, very tasty, and always just tastier than other things that I've got next to it on my cabinet. So for me, this is a bit of a winner. Again, 50 quid. It is a lot of money to be spending on bottles of whiskey for sure, but as you guys know, over the last few years, I've kind of expanded from a kind of £50 cap almost to really looking for the best values in whiskey. And that's the reason why I joined this club in the first place, is because I was buying, when I buy my own whiskey, I'm buying things that I know that I'm going to like. But that doesn't mean that there are whiskies out there that I also won't like, or will like, whatever. And that's why I joined this club, because I really wanted to see what is out there that I wouldn't normally reach out and buy. Now, like I said earlier, I have tried some of these Glasgow 1770s before at festivals and whatnot. I keep meaning to pick them up. They're just one of those things that I do have to make a bit of effort to go and get, because they have to be online or whatnot. So I have to sort of think, right, I'm in the market for a bottle, I will go and get them. I don't see these in any of my local shops, but then again, in my town, there isn't really any specialist whiskey shops. That's, besides the point, we're going a bit off piste there. To kind of close on this one here, I think this is a great whiskey, and I'm really going to enjoy this. It's kind of a bit of a shame to bring it to you, because you guys aren't going to be able to get this, unfortunately, because even if you joined the Summerton Club, you'll just be on the next bottle. And if you are in the UK and you are interested in that sort of kind of random selection whiskey coming your way, then it's definitely something you should check out, because I know myself and a few of the other whiskey tubers out there, and a lot of other people are really happy with what they're doing. And there's even a kind of a little community coming out on Discord now that are just really great people, and everyone's kind of really enjoying that. So yeah, please do go and check them out. Hopefully you'll go and check out the Glasgow distillery as well. I'm going to try and get hold of some of the bottles and bring them to you so that you can see a bit more about them. Obviously they're a fledgling distillery, so it'd be very interesting to see what they do on the channel. Hopefully very, very soon. Thanks for watching today's video. It was made possible by these Patreon supporters and YouTube members. If you want to support the channel in any way, please do go and check out Patreon or hit the join button down below. Thank you.